Welcome back to Freshwater Fishing Novice Friday. This is the Freshwater Fishing Novice YouTube channel. My name is Moles, and I'm the Freshwater Fishing Novice. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you're a previous subscriber, welcome back. If you're new to this channel is all about teaching new anglers things that new anglers need to know as novices like me. This week I got a message from one of my OG subscribers, Brett Dixon. You can see he said he's interested about the different types of kayaks that I use. And you can see he said he wanted to know more about my pedal kayak. So you can see right there, he also mentioned he's on a tight budget. He was asking to talk about a variety of kayaks based on least expensive to most expensive. And finally, he asked, what's the best, least expensive kayak for beginners? Let's talk about my kayak adventure as far as purchasing kayaks. Okay, freshwater fishing novices, new viewers. My first year fishing, I was like, dude, I need a kayak. I was on Craigslist constantly looking. I didn't want to spend anything expensive like Brett. And I was like, whatever, I'll just buy whatever little teeny kayak. I think I was like 155, 160 pounds. I knew I could fit in a little boat. And this is the first kayak I got right here. You can see I'm right there. That's at Lake Castaic in California. I caught nothing that day. I just paddled around in circles. The lake's huge. I did not do my research on that lake and had no idea what I was doing. You can see right here, here's another picture of me and my kayak. I didn't spend a whole lot of time in the water. I spent a lot of time sitting in a pool drinking beer. So my second year of fishing, I didn't have a kayak, angling from the bank. Fast forward to third year, me and my buddy Carlton had already been fishing for a year from bank. He got a kayak from his mom. I was like, dude, I need to get a kayak. I went online and I looked at some, like that same fishing kayak I had, and it was $300 something. I'm like, dude, that's too much. And then I found this kayak right here. This is the Sun Dolphin Aruba 10. It's the same kayak without the rod holders. I looked at the price of rod holders and they were like $10 a piece. I was like, I have tools. I can put my own rod holders in. Bought this kayak, which is like I don't think it's more than 180. I put my own rod holders in and I was under $2, so I saved $175. By no means is this the best kayak. So fast forward, my third year I was still in this kayak, paddling around. I was having issues. My butt was falling asleep. I put like a bunch of that like foam that you'd kneel on if you were doing gardening. I just put some spray adhesive and I stacked that high. It helped a little bit, but my butt would still, after about 3-4 hours, my butt would fall asleep. Couldn't store a lot of stuff in there when I'd bring like 2 tackle boxes maybe and shove them between my feet. That was it for like storage. If you have to pee, I had a pee jug, and then a lot of times I ended up peeing all over myself. That was that kayak. The following year, I made sure I saved my stimulus check. I bought this kayak right here. And the reason I bought it is, 1, so I can stand up and pee in a bottle. 2, it's got a much more comfortable seat that my butt won't fall asleep in if I'm fishing all day. Yeah, standing up and sitting, I wanted that option. It's a lot heavier. Obviously, it's a lot heavier. It's a lot bigger. It's 11.5 feet. So anyway, those are just the kayaks I've owned. So now let's talk about things you need to consider when looking at fishing kayaks. Okay, so you're looking for kayaks for fishing. What are the 2 different types of fishing kayaks you can get? You can get a sit-in, where it's got a cockpit and you're inside the kayak, or you can get a sit on top. This maybe has a seat, maybe you're just sitting on the deck, but you're not in a cockpit, you're exposed. Upside, to sit on top of kayak, those are usually solid pieces, so you can't sink them. It's hard to sink. Now, a sit-in kayak, if that thing fills with water, it's gone. So those are 2 different things that you should think about when looking at kayaks. The other main difference, a sit-in kayak is going to be a lot lighter than that sit-on kayak. That sit-on kayak is going to be heavy. You want to take in consideration how you're going to transport your kayak. So you're going to put it on the roof of your vehicle, the back of the truck bed, on a trailer. Now, if you're on a trailer or truck bed, maybe a bigger kayak is good. But if you go to put that on the roof, it's going to be a pain in the, in the butt. You know what? In the butt. You should also, when you're looking at kayaks, you should think about what's the weight capacity of this kayak? Is it going to hold me and gear? If you're a big guy, you want to look at the weight of the kayak that you're moving and the weight capacity so it can support your weight and it's stable enough. So The stability of a kayak is going to depend on the width. The thinner the kayak, if you're sitting in it, the less stable. The wider is going to be more stable. I think for standing kayaks, like sit on top, you want at least like a 31 or 32 inch, what do they call that in the middle? A beam, that middle section where you're basically located when you're sitting and standing. 32 inches or more is a bonus. So the other main considerations is this going to be a paddle kayak or is it going to be a pedal kayak? So the ones with the pedals aren't cheap. Upwards of $500. So you're looking at more like $800 to $1,200, and you're going to keep going up depending on the brand. What's the best, cheapest pedal kayak? It's probably going to be an off-brand of like possibly Feel Free. They have like 3 other sister brands. The Big Fish brand, it's Sea Stream is their cheapest line. That's what I'd look at, Brad. If you were going to get a pedal kayak and you're trying to go as cheap as possible, I'd look at the Sea Stream brand because you're still going to have that seat that's elevated. It's going to be more comfortable. It's not going to have the options that my paddle kayak has as far as I can raise the seat up and down on the spot. But you'll have a seat that you're sitting up off the deck. You can stand in it, and it will have the pedal. But I think it's probably closer to $1,000, dude. So when I'm looking at a fishing kayak, I'm going to look at the seat. And like my first kayak, the seat's horrible. So if I'm going to be in a kayak for a long time, I want a nice seat that I can sit in and I'm elevated. Also, if I want to stand, I'm going to look at options like that. And as far as storage capacity, what gear I want to carry, how many rods, those are all things that I'm going to consider. Transportation to and from the water. After I unload it, do I have to drag it? Is there a wheel? Do I need wheels to transport that kayak? All things that you need to think about. They're extra costs. So like a sit-on kayak, unless you can get right down to the water, you're going to have to transport that. So you're going to need another person to drag it, you're going to have to drag it, or you're going to have like a trolley, like a wheel system. The other thing you want to consider when looking at kayaks is what type of water you're going to be fishing. So if you're only doing like small streams and teeny ponds, maybe a cheaper kayak that you sit in, or maybe even a cheaper kayak that you can sit on, but paddle might be a better option. So the other thing, when you're buying a kayak, you're going to need a paddle regardless. Even if you have pedals, you need a paddle in case that thing fails. For a smaller sit-in kayak paddle, you want to go from like 210 to 230 centimeter length paddle. You're going to be closer to the water, so you don't need that much reach. On a sit-on kayak, you want from a 230 to a 260 centimeter kayak paddle because it's going to be bigger. If you're standing up and you want to paddle, you need that length. Because if your seat's up, you're higher from the water, you're going to need that reach. Okay, guys, so I'm not going to tell you guys all about kayaks, and that's as much as I want to talk about kayaks right now. There's a ton of great channels out there. I'm going to leave a link in the description below for Headwater Kayaks. He has like, kayaks under $500, kayak under $1,000, kayaks under $2,000. He has the whole range. He's owned kayak shop forever. So if you guys want to look and go search different kayak brands, Headwater Kayaks on YouTube is a great resource. I think his name's Dan. I hope it's Dan. But check out Headwater Kayaks on YouTube, and that should give you a great insight to all the kayaks. If you guys want to know all the problems I've had with my sit-on-top kayak that I spent way too much money on, then leave me a comment below if you want to know all the problems I've had with my sit-on-top kayak. Or if you want to know the problems I've had with my sit-in kayak. If you guys like this video, you thought it was entertaining and informative, you can go ahead and hit that like button. If you guys enjoyed this video, you thought it was informative, you learned something, took something away from the video at all about kayaking. Also, don't forget your PFD, personal flotation device. Can't get out on the water without that. Hit that subscribe button, make it turn from red to gray. Make sure you're getting the bell notifications there. And help other anglers, other freshwater fishing novices help discover my channel and hopefully become better anglers. Thanks for watching the Freshwater Fishing Novice YouTube channel. This has been a Freshwater Fishing Novice Friday. My name is Moles, and I'm the Freshwater Fishing Novice. Hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll catch you next week.